What you think you know about running may be wrong. Let's bust 10 running myths. Hello, fellow geeks, and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather, and I am glad you are here today. Now, despite the fact that running as a sport has been around for a really long time, and by the way, stay tuned if you would like to see a video coming up soon about the evolution of running as a full-fledged sport. But even though it's been around for a while, there are so many things that people get wrong about it. So today we're going to talk about 10 things that people think they know about running that are completely wrong. And we're going to start off with one of the biggest one. This is one that everybody has always said to me when I tell them that I'm a runner, and I'm pretty sure if you're a runner, you've heard this too, and that is that running ruins your knees. 45% of all running injuries involve knee pain, so people think that running is just bad for the knees. However, the majority of knee-related issues are a result of weak hips, tight muscles, or just flat overuse. Repetitive motion is required for the cartilage around the knee to receive oxygen and nutrients, and running is just one way that you can help provide this stimulus. And a recent study found 80 people through marathon training and found that their bones and joints actually got stronger around the knee area as they continued with their training. And speaking from personal experience, my knees used to snap, crackle, and pop every time I bent them, and that has completely gone away the more I have gotten involved in running. So if anybody tells you running is bad for your knees, it's not the knees, it's usually a result of some other weakness in the body. Number 2, you need to always static stretch before you run. The old way of thinking was that since runners are just inflexible, you have to stretch and warm up your muscles before you run. Scientists have gone back and forth on this, but the general consensus is that static stretching, meaning staying still and just stretching one part of your body, that's not the best way to get warmed up for your run. Instead, you need to get your blood flowing and warm up your muscles with dynamic stretches. These help elongate your muscles and increase the range of motion through movement. So think about doing high knees, butt kicks, leg swings, anything that is going to get your body moving in the way that it's going to be moving throughout the course of your run is going to help warm you up the best. Myth number 3, runners never walk. Let me introduce you to Olympian Jeff Galloway. He's created a whole training methodology that incorporates walking and running. So you run and then take a walk break and run again. He believes that mixing regular walking breaks into your runs helps reduce the incidence of injury, and it helps you stay active for longer. Even some elite runners and triathletes walk during their easy runs to keep them from getting injured over the course of their training. For advanced runners, walking workouts like intervals and long walks, they are great recovery day workouts. Brisk walks help build endurance. They give your joints and your muscles a break, and they ease the strain that's caused by running. Let's say that you're a beginner and you're just not really sure that you can run for very long. Guess what? Walking and increasing the speed of your walk is a great way to ease into actual running. All you have to do is go for a long walk, and at some point run for a few minutes to let your heart rate go up, and then before long, the time that you spend running and walking is going to feel easier, and you're going to cover more miles. Myth number 4, you are not a runner unless you complete a certain distance or can run a certain pace. If you run, you're a runner. You don't have to run a 7-minute mile. You don't have to run a marathon to call yourself a runner. You don't have to run a certain number of miles per week. Distance, pace, that does not define who you are as a runner. Again, if you run, you are a runner. Myth number 5, runners have a certain body type. Now, if you look at the elite level runners, then yes, you're going to notice some similarities between their build, but we're not talking about elites here. Runners of all sizes can improve their performance by following a proper training program. You can see athletes of all heights and builds on the award stage scooping up those age group awards. People of all ages, sizes, and shapes can be runners. Just go to your next local race and you are guaranteed to see someone who looks like you. Myth number 6, you're not a runner unless you run races. The truth is, not every runner likes to race. Some enjoy having that goal to work towards and, maybe getting a medal to go with it, but some people just enjoy moving their body, the simplicity of going out on a run. So again, like I said, if you run, you're a runner, whether or not you decide to race. Myth number 7, runners don't need upper body strength or strength training. Now, we run obviously with our legs, but our upper bodies play an important part too. As you start to tire, the first thing that starts to fall apart is your form. You'll start to kind of cave in on yourself. If you have a strong upper body, it helps you maintain good running posture and the correct arm swing. It seems to be this common belief among runners that strength training is going to make you bulky and therefore it's going to slow you down. But in fact, research has shown that strength training can help you run faster by improving the neuromuscular coordination and power. Regular strength training also helps you prevent injuries by strengthening the muscles and all the connective tissues. So although you are going to get some strength in your legs as you run, you still need a lot more power in your legs to propel you forward. So it makes sense to get them as strong as they can be. So you can incorporate exercises like lunges, squats, deadlifts, calf raises just a couple of times a week, and you're going to see some great results. Myth number 8, if you miss a few days of training, you might as well start over. Now, if you have to take a few days off from training, maybe it's illness, injury, life, do you immediately think that everything that you've done in your training so far is going to go to waste? Are you worried that you're going to lose your cardio? Studies have shown there is very little decrease in VO2 max over the first 10 days of inactivity in a trained athlete. So if you need an extra rest day, take it. It's fine. Take time to recover if you are sick. Take time to recover if you are injured. It is not going to be the end of the world. Taking a few days off can actually help increase your performance, not lower your fitness level. If you don't take the necessary days that your body needs to recover from a hard effort, it's going to lead to overtraining. The best way to train and improve your running is to make sure you are listening to your body. If you don't, then you do run the risk of injuring yourself. Even if you don't injure yourself, you could be hurting your best chances at getting ahead. So if your body is screaming at you for a rest day, it's not going to derail you by taking an extra day off. Myth number 9, running barefoot is the absolute best method to avoid injury. Barefoot running, or you may hear it referred to as minimalist running, can be very popular within certain areas, but the theory behind why you should is also kind of misunderstood. If you run barefoot, in some cases you could actually increase your risk of injury. Since most adults don't run with the proper run mechanics, you need support from an actual running shoe. There are some instances where it does strengthen your lower leg joints, like grass running, but in general, barefoot running typically is not the best way to avoid injury. It's going to depend on your actual running form and actually getting your feet and ankles used to that type of running. So definitely check with someone who knows before you give it a shot. And myth number 10, you can eat whenever you want, just run it off. Now, we've all heard the advice that you should carbo load before a race, but just because you're running a marathon or even a 5K, it doesn't mean you have a license to eat everything under the sun. Now, the original theory of carb loading developed from a 1967 military study of recruits under exhausting exercise conditions whose diets were depleted and then restocked with carbohydrates. And so in extreme circumstances like that, it's no surprise that, of course, they're going to perform better after receiving increased carbs. But since then, they've done additional studies to show that after a week of carb loading, the amount of glycogen in your muscles was no greater than it was at the beginning of the week. So athletes who spend a week adding a ton of bagels and pasta to your daily regimen actually didn't get that many performance gains. In fact, nutritionists suggest that the overindulgence in carbs may make you feel more lethargic and bloated leading up to your race day. So instead, you need to spend a day or two focused on high carbs and only for a half marathon or longer distance. You want to make sure you're getting the nutrients you need overall to nourish your body, and then it will perform well. So there you go. We have just talked about 10 of the most common running myths. So have you heard any of these before? Why don't you let me know down in the comments below, and also let me know if you would like a part 2 of this where we look at some more misunderstood running advice. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it keeps you up to date on all the running content that I have coming out all the time. You can also follow me on social media. All the links are down in the description. You can find me across all platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm so glad you could join me. Remember to laugh hard, run fast, and be kind. See you later.